So, what is a market? A market is any group of buyers and or potential buyers, okay? There are three types of markets. Our first market is a consumer market. Here we have individuals and or households who buy goods and they use them for their own benefit. We have the second, industrial market. Individuals, groups, and or organizations, they'll purchase a product and or a service and they'll use it for their direct use in producing other products or to use it in their day-to-day operations. The third is a reseller market. Here we have a middleman or intermediaries who buy finished goods in order to resell them for a profit. For example, wholesalers or retailers. Have we ever heard of those? Wholesalers, retailers?
Yes.
Name one. Can you name one? Mr. Kevin?
I don't know, I can't name one.
How about you, Ms. Michaela?
Think window wrap.
Cardinals.
Retailer.
Oh,
Cardinals.
let me see.
Who?
Specific.
Specific information. That's Spring Center, right? Window Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but specific, a store.
Oh, like shipments.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. How businesses use product competition within the market. Because businesses are becoming more intense, we have a result where they're having to gather more data, okay? For the purpose of finding out what the competitors are doing with their products and to look at the marketing activities. All of this is for the purpose of looking at their strengths and or weaknesses. And what they would like to do as a result is find out what they need to do better as far as their competition is concerned so that they can do better than their competition. We're going to take a look at how the individuals define the market. Here we have customers, okay? Our customers actually buy the goods and services. On this side, we have our consumers who actually use the goods and services. Dr. Sneed has talked about this week the difference between a customer and a consumer. Well, as far as the customer market is concerned, businesses group their customers. They're looking for loyal customers, customers who shop at a discount and or browse. There are some customers that just browse to shop. Customers who buy for fun, employees who use products and services, and lastly, indirect customers. Mr. Quentin, can you name me one indirect customer?
It's all right. It's all right to try, man. I mean, this is a hard one. This was not an easy one.
Indirect customer.
So like me going to a store and buying a video game and playing it at home.
Okay. Hint right here. You go into a store and buy a video game, but look at the hint. What would you do with the video game?
Sell it to my friend, or put it online and just have somebody buy it online.
How about this? You took a buddy with you. Think about that. You go in to buy it, and you took a buddy with you. What's your buddy do?
Hold it for me? Like, no.
Played.
Say again.
They may buy something too.
They may buy something too, but what would the buddy do? Hence the example.
They gonna buy it too.
You feel about the same one?
Okay. An indirect customer buys a product. I would buy a video game, and I would actually give it to you for you to use it,
Oh, okay. So,
making you the indirect customer. A customer market. Businesses realize that a customer market can grow and or shrink based upon their their environment, their overall environment. For this reason, businesses try to focus on maintaining a stable or a growing customer market, all right? And how they do so is by keeping their loyal customers very, very happy, okay? The division of the total market segmentation is actually broken up into smaller groups, all right, or specific groups. Here we have demographics, behavioral, psychographics, and geographics. We've also talked about this week, right?
Yes,
Mr. DuPont? Yes, sir. We're going to break it down just a little bit further, okay? Each segment.
You want me to bring?
I'll give you a chance in just a moment. With geographic, we're looking at national, we're looking at regional, we're looking at local, and global. It's basically where our customers are located, no matter where they're located, all around the world, okay? Our geographic segmentation is based upon the concept that people actually who live in the same area might have the same type of likes and or dislikes. But businesses are really, really, really focusing on the likes. This is an example. Who can tell me? Mr. DuPont, Quentin, Mr. Kevin, Ms. Michaela. Who can tell me what this is? How did you know?
Everybody in there.
Everybody has a what?
TV.
Television. Yes. And some customers don't look that happy.
Nah, because they ain't getting in there first.
Black Friday. When we take a look at geographics, businesses actually break it down per the zip code, okay? And they group certain zip codes together and gather information according to this. When we go into demographics, businesses study, is this person married? Do they have more than one children or at least one child, okay? Are they between a certain age, 40, 50 years old, here 21 to 35? Do they rent or own their own home, all right? They look at one's educational background beyond high school. This kind of seems a little invasive, doesn't it? I'm wondering where in the world they get all of this information. However, it's public. It's privy. They're privy to all of this information. And they look at families' income earned. Do families earn combined a total of $50,000 or greater? Okay, they group people together in these categories. Psychographics. We're going a little bit deeper. They're looking at, are the families beginning to plan for the future? How do they study that? Mr. DuPont, tell me how you think they'll be able to study that.
How they plan for the future?
Mhm.
Maybe from their lifestyle or how they go about doing things. Like do they eat healthy or something like that, or invest in
Yes,
insurance?
yes. Investments, banking. What are their habits like when it comes to banking and saving? They look at things like this. All of that information is out there for them. How they're able to get certain information is beyond me. But does a family or a person, individual, value their time? Do they look at their time as a valuable resource? Okay? Are they excited about accepting or using innovative ideas and products? They study, do they have increased resources, again, investments. Do they put those investments into things like safety or security measures, the ADT? How many people, how many families are actually investing in these ADT security, the signs out in the front yard, right? They look at all of this stuff, they study it. Last but not least, are they a consistent web user? Mr. Kevin, how do they follow and realize whether or not you're a consistent web user? What do they do?
Check your social media.
Check your social media. That's one way.
Cookies.
Say it again.
Oh, cookies.
Cookies. Yes. Yes. Browsing history. Miss Michaela, can you name another one? Phone companies. They look at who you're calling. Exactly. They look at the web users as far as people who prefer to use the internet, okay, to gather their information. They're very vital, critical information, opposed to looking at the magazines or newspapers, okay? They call it a footprint. Who's ever heard of that? The internet footprint? What is it called? The footprint. That's how they follow you. Well, let's see here. Okay, back to the beginning. Please be patient. I'm just learning how to use this little gadget here. So be patient with me. I don't know how, I guess I pressed the wrong button. Mr. Kevin, look for me, find out where I was. We had passed this right. Let me know when I get it. Okay, we passed Black Friday. We just finished this, right?
Yeah, we just finished.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so behavioral. We started digging a little bit deeper in psychographics. Why? Because that's studying the mind and how a person thinks, right? Well, behavioral is also dealing with a person's habits, how they think. They're looking at, are they loyal? Are they high spenders? Or are they low or mild spenders? Okay? Or are they just plain old unengaged? Okay? Meaning it really doesn't matter to them at all. The more detail a business knows about their quote unquote ideal customer, okay, the better they can use that information to draw that person in and actually make them want to purchase what it is that they're selling. They're looking, behavioral consists of leaders in product selection. The response to opinions. Do they respond to industry experts? They're looking at the internet a lot to acquire information. I'm one of those. I will search something out before I plan to put time into it or my money into it. I will search it out. And I use the internet to do it. They're looking at people who will defend their decisions, okay, as to why they decided to purchase a particular product or service. And lastly, these people actually are very powerful because they are unpaid and they're a sales force. As far as Ms. Michaela, what makes them powerful and part of the sales force to these businesses?
The type of decisions they may make.
The type of decisions they may make, But if they are powerful and part of the sales force, unpaid, what are they doing for these businesses? Say it again. Data. It goes to data, information, but what are they doing with the information?
Free advertising.
Say it again.
Free advertising.
Yes, sir. Free advertisement, for those who may not have heard. Free advertisement. Word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertisement. How many of you remember Dr. Sneed talking about that this week? Okay. We're going to take a look at distribution. Distribution is also a part of marketing, okay? With this, the distribution center is used to accumulate products from several sources that come in. And these packages are actually, or products are actually regrouped, repackaged, and they send them out to other locations as quickly as possible from this distribution center. Name me a distribution center right here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
UPS.
UPS. Another.
Amazon.
Amazon. Another. FedEx. Another. Come on. You got
I was about to say one of those.
it. Okay. One more. One more. The biggest one there is in
United
Greensboro.
States Postal Service.
United States Postal Service. Walmart is what I was looking for. Walmart. This involves the making decisions about where to sell the products, how and where the products are stored, okay? And last but not least, what form of transportation are we going to get it out to these consumers? Whether it's by truck, FedEx, who said FedEx? FedEx, Miss Michaela said FedEx. Use truck, ship. How many of you have ever received a package by shipment? You probably don't. You have? You have?
Wait, like you talking like on a boat?
On a boat?
Oh no. Well, I might have. I probably
You
don't know.
may have. You might not know it.
I know some overseas. You think it'll be?
Who has a Samsung? Raise your hand. You have a Samsung, you got your phone by boat.
By boat. Interesting. Very interesting. Or it can be flown through the air. Okay? Say it again.
UPS, I think they do that a lot.
Flying through the air. Okay? Good stuff. Does anybody have a family member who works at a distribution center?
My father works at Wayfair.
Wayfair.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Furniture store.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But he's at the warehouse part where they unload and load trucks.
Right. Wouldn't that be part of the distribution?
Yes.
Loading the products to get them out to individuals?
Yes.
Good stuff. All right. We're going to take a look at developing the target market profile. As far as businesses are concerned, they look for a particular group of people to attract to its businesses. The purpose by doing this is it lets them know who their primary customers are going to be. The market, what they want their market to be is, first of all, reachable. They want it to be measurable. Who can tell me what measurable means? How does businesses measure their customers?
By like how often they come in and buy certain items.
How often they come in? One more. What's the most important? I don't want to give it away. I almost gave it away.
Time.
How do they measure? Say it again.
Time.
Maybe how do you feel?
All of that can be considered, but I'm looking for the amount that they measure. How many people they actually have is a form of measurement. and they want it to be right here, significantly large. How many people that they actually have. They're looking at their occupation, the location, again, the income, habits, hobbies. There's the age, again, interest, as well as values. What does a person value in life? You find out what a person values, and that right there will give you, I'm not going to say all of the information about a person, but it'll give you quite a bit of information about a person. You'll find out what's important to a person. Market research techniques. Businesses use one or more of these 5 techniques here. Surveys. Who in the room has ever done a survey? Raise your hand. Who has ever sat on a survey panel? Raise your hand. Am I the only one?
What would that be?
Interesting. Focus group. Personal interviews. I know all of you have been on a personal interview, right?
For
For a job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Observations, and last but not least, field trials. We want to take a stab at the field trials.
A field trip.
Field trials.
Think survey in the field.
Oh, actually doing it.
Doing it as it relates to a product.
So,
This was new to me. I learned something by studying this information. Trying it out. And how they try it out is to actually put it into a store and allow customers to test it so that they can, from the information and the customers being able to test it out, they know what's going to work, what's not going to work. Do we need to change our packaging? Okay? A lot of this information you will see. How many of you watch Shark Tank?
oh, I love that show.
I love it too. Wonderful show. They deal with repackaging and packaging certain products. All of that has to do with field trials. Lori does it a lot with Bath and Body Works. Putting a product, a new product in Bath and Body Works and finding out what people like and don't like about it. Okay? All right, and we are at the end of the PowerPoint.
Everybody give
All
her
right.
a hand.